This is the Ego Power Plus 24-inch self-propelled 2-stage snowblower. It's completely battery powered, which means no gas, no oil, and no maintenance. You can get it from Ace Hardware or Lowe's for $12.99, which is not cheap. Ego claims you can clear an 18-car driveway with 8 inches of snow off on one charge of the included 56-volt, 7.5 amp-hour batteries. On paper, well, besides the price, it sounds perfect. But is it any good? I want to get right into the batteries on the Ego snowblower because they are the heart of everything. Before I went out and bought it, I went back and forth and I was a little nervous about getting it. I already own an Ego trimmer, leaf blower, and chainsaw, and I've been super happy with them. But the price on the snowblower is pretty high. I felt a little weird about spending that much when I wasn't even 100% sure that I could clear my whole driveway. I was also wondering about the lifespan of the batteries and if I could use my other Ego batteries. After doing a little research, most of the concerns I had were no longer an issue, and it turns out that's because there's actually a lot of interesting tech involved. So let me just say quickly, I've used it a handful of times with varying amounts of snow, and so far I haven't had any issues finishing on one charge. I have about 900 square feet to clear in total, and each time I had about 40% to 50% of the battery left, according to the indicators on the batteries. So far, I've cleared between about 3 inches and 6 inches of snowfall, which may be a lot or not much depending on where you live. Obviously, the runtime is going to vary based on the amount of snow, the type of snow, and how you use the machine. You can vary the drive speed and the auger speed, both which will have an effect on the battery life. You'll probably want to charge the batteries after each use to be prepared for the next time. Ego recommends charging in temperatures between 41 and 104 degrees Fahrenheit, and it should take about an hour on the included charger. This is pretty quick, but obviously much longer compared to just pouring more gas into a gas-powered snowblower. When you're not using the batteries, they should be stored above -4 degrees Fahrenheit. Any lower and they just may not work. Just to be clear, you can use the snowblower in temps below -4 Fahrenheit, but the batteries need to be warmer than that before you start. If you end up not using the batteries over a long period of time, like over summer, there's actually not much you need to do with them. They basically take care of themselves, which is pretty nice. After 30 days without being used, they'll automatically discharge to 30%, even if they're on the charger. All of the batteries are IPX4 rated, which means they're safe to use in light rain, and they'll all work in all of the Ego tools. So if you have other Ego products, you already have some extra batteries. Ego does recommend using at least the 5 amp-hour batteries on the snowblower though. A few other things: you can use one battery instead of 2, but this increases the chance of it overheating. So it's recommended to use 2. I'm sure if you just need to finish a small area of snow, you could get away with 1 though. According to Ego's tests, you won't see reduced runtime until after about 800 charge cycles. Now, all of this comes at a price though. If you want a backup set of batteries, one 7.5 amp-hour battery currently sells for $350. So if you want a backup set, you're looking at $700, or basically the price of many similar gas 2-stage snowblowers. Beyond the batteries, the snowblower's controls are really easy to use with gloves on, and all the chute controls are cable driven, so you're not using any battery power for that. Now, I haven't measured or anything, but supposedly you can throw the snow up to 50 feet. Along with the chute control, the auger speed control is used to control how far you're throwing the snow, and you also might want to speed it up if you're in some deep, wet snow. You only want to use what's necessary though if you're worried about battery life, because using the auger in turbo mode really affects the battery life. For deep, heavy snow, I found it worked best for me to just keep the auger speed low, and I just let the snowblower work through the snow. I found it worked pretty well to just kind of move the snowblower forward a bit, stop for a few seconds, let the auger work, and then move it forward again. If you do try to clear too much snow at one time, the snowblower will recognize this and automatically slow itself to prevent overload. And if that doesn't help, then it'll just shut off. As I said, so far I've had no issues clearing snow. It hasn't shown any signs of not having enough power. To get started snowblowing, all you have to do is push the start button until the LED starts blinking. Then you can start the auger. While you have the self-propelled trigger down, the auger trigger will stay locked. This allows you to make any adjustments that you may need to. Every time you stop the auger, you have to restart using the button though, so I pretty much just left the auger running the entire time, which I'm sure did affect battery life a little bit, but it didn't seem to matter for me in the end. When you're done snowblowing, Ego recommends letting the auger run for a bit to clear anything left inside and to prevent it from freezing up. Lastly, there are also 4 headlights on the snowblower, which are actually really nice at night. I did about half my driveway one night before I remembered that I had them, and when I turned them on, I was kind of surprised at how big of a difference they made. I am confident that the Ego 2-stage snowblower can go through just about anything. It's really just a matter of how long. Based on my experience, I would expect about 45 minutes to an hour of runtime, but this was with all the speeds on low. The price is no question high, but at $12.99 you get no maintenance, no gas, you don't have to worry about storing it in summer and if you should use stabilizer in the gas or drain the tank, and you know it'll start right up when you need it. The only worry is battery life. I think if you're considering getting one of these, it's important to consider the Ego line of products as a whole. If you think you'll want other Ego products in addition to the snowblower, or if you already have them, you'll already have more batteries to use, which will give you even more runtime. But if you plan to buy it on its own, I would only feel confident if you have a relatively smaller area to clear, because while the claim of an 18-car driveway sounds amazing, this wasn't taking into account what's left after a plow comes through.